Alright, announcement's been sent out. Let's see if I'm live. Yeah, just doing some initial troubleshooting for this stream. At the very least, though, I was able to connect my microphone correctly this time. Because I remember the past few times I've been setting it to the wrong setting. Oh, there is an ad playing on my YouTube. I always found it funny that I get ads for my own streams and videos. Like, I'm the creator who's actually streaming this stream, and I get an ad for my own stream. Do I give myself my own ad revenue? Oh, that's a really good question. Whenever there's an ad on my own stream or video, and I get it as the creator, do I get the ad revenues technically? Because although I am the creator whose content that, you know, is being watched, like I am the very own content creator whose content that I'm technically watching. But whenever it comes to ads, if I get an ad, do I get that ad revenue? Do I get my 1 penny for watching a 5-second ad for my own content? Oh man, that's a really good question. Do I get my own ad revenue if I watch the ad of my own video? I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm legitimately gonna have to look into that. Because that's interesting. Like, I never thought about that, actually. Can you give yourself your own ad revenue? Interesting. But, yeah. My apologies for the very early stream of Umineko. This is actually one of my best times to stream now, like, during the middle of the, morning. Yeah, it's like mid-morning for me, so it's like a really weird time to start streaming. So yeah, I do apologize for the new time. Yeah, this is like the best I could do in terms of stream times outside of the normal Saturday time. However, for this Saturday, I'm completely not available, and I still wanted to stream Umineko this week. So yeah, I'm doing it in the middle of the morning. Without further ado, let's continue on. Oh wait, nope, that's the beginning of the chapter! Ah. Crap. I meant to go to my load file. Crap. I don't want to cast a spell right now. Hold on. Can I skip through this so that I can go to my load file? Can I please go to my load file? Oh my god. Please. Oh my god. Wrong button. Yep, we're at the funeral. Well, technically this is the chapter. I don't think this is the funeral because that was last chapter. Okay, there we go. Let's go to my load file. There we go. And I don't know if I'm going to finish the chapter today, since I do need to get going in about 3 hours, but I'm going to read as much as I can. Shannon and Cannon stood guard in front of the door to the Golden Land. They glared quietly and fiercely at the eerie fleet of ships across the horizon. Shannon slowly lifted her hands. Cannon raised his right hand, and a red blade appeared there. Ooh, the fight's about to happen.
そこで止まってください。それ以上の接近を拒否します。
それ以上近寄れば切る。
They could see a single dinghy leaving the fleet and approaching them. They couldn't tell if it was a messenger or the first wave. Shannon and Cannon watched it cautiously. Does she really have a cat? Does she really have a pirate hat? There's a little cat in the pirate hat. It's supposed to be the skull and crossbones, but it's like a little cat. Oh, that's cute, actually. That's cute. At the head of that dinghy, rowed by goats, stood Erika. She has a fucking pirate hat. Where the heck did she get that thing from? Even the writing's even acknowledging the fact that she has a hat on. Maybe she's trying to act the part of the fleet's leader. Erika was glaring at them and smiling aggressively, with what appeared to be a pirate hat on her head.
最後通帳に参りました。交渉余地のあるものです。
Okay.
開門してください。
Why? What do we get out of opening the gate for you? Shanna and Cannon looked at each other. Erika was the one offering this deal. It wasn't likely to be anything agreeable. However, if they turned it away, the attack would probably begin at once. Since they were in a firmly inferior position, they wanted to buy time by any means they could. As Shannon nodded, Cannon raised his sword. The Golden Land was filled with a hard downpour, accompanied by occasional thunder. Erika, who realized that this weather spoke for their emotions, smiled even more boldly. Okay, class, it's your time to shine. You gotta blast them away. At the center of the Golden Land was the arbor surrounded by the Golden Rose Garden. A large number of humans and illusions were there, arguing about something. Are they arguing about their battle plans? Even without asking, it was easy to guess the nature of the debate by their anguished expressions. After all, in this life or death situation, they didn't have many options they could take. This is a pretty haunting song that's playing. In the direction Erika was being led, Beato stood waiting, accompanied by the Chiester sister Corps. When Erika, accompanied by her goat guard, saw Beato, she gave a bow that only appeared graceful. Beato followed suit and gave a graceful bow of the sort that was rarely seen from her.
黄金鏡のアリス、無限と黄金の魔女、ベアトリーチェである。名乗られよ。
As though implying that she was more than happy to go through with this farce, Beato introduced herself boldly and requested that Erika do the same.
尊厳なる感激と戯曲と傍観の魔女により厳選されし名誉ある都署の都より派遣されてまいりました。私は都署に名誉と保護を与えし司書の艦隊司令官にして真実の魔女フルドエリカと申します。どうぞお見知りおきを。
要件を聞こう。
お喜びください。我ら都署に名誉と保護を与えし司書の艦隊はあなた方に名誉ある朗報をもって参上しました。
Is it good news for you, Erika, or is it good news for the Golden Land?
一つ、都署の都は無限の魔女ベアトリーチェによって生み出されたゲーム版を名誉ある厳選されたる都署に認定されましたことを報告いたします。
Alright, thank you for the acknowledgement.
ほう、それは名誉なことである。
Indeed. Now what's the catch?
このゲーム版は非常に興味深く、かつ独創的で研究価値の高いものです。
I do agree with that.
すべての市民に公開される価値のあるものです。よって都署の都は我らにこのゲーム版に永遠の名誉と保護を与えることを命ぜられました。
I wonder if this was the conversation at expansion 07. I wonder if this was actually the real discussion whenever they told Rikishi that he could publish Umineko.
くどいし長い。とっとと本題を言え。
本ゲーム版のすべてを名誉ある都署の都に譲渡することを要求します。これは本ゲーム版とその駒にとって最高の名誉と保護です。
Hold on. Okay, there's definitely a catch with this one.
嫌だと言ったら
全ての市民に共有されるべき名誉文化を私的独占する罪で告発されます。
They're being very diplomatic right now, which I do not trust at all.
我々はあなたに対し全ての市民の権利と利益を保護するため攻撃を開始することを通告します。
その攻撃で人民の共有財産が破壊されるのは構わぬの。
名誉図書保護法の規定により名誉文化私的独占を犯す犯罪者がこれを盾に籠城を試みる場合、執行官隊は大法院の許可を持って保護より逮捕を優先することが許されます。
So it's basically give us the game board or we're gonna destroy it.
もちろんすでに大法院の許可状はこちらにございます。
Oh. Even before they consulted the people of the game board, they got their approval to destroy it if they reject giving themselves up.
ついでにその逮捕は生死を問
Hello,
わぬと書い
King
てあ
of
り
War
そう
Shusen
だ。
Tatsu.
おや、よくこんな小さい文字が読めますね。では茶番は以上です。ぶっちゃけどうします？
そなたの要求を飲むとどのような利点があるという？
Likely nothing at all.
お互い無駄な仕事をしなくて済みます。そしてあなたの勇敢にして名誉ある行為は図書の都にて誉れ高く終章に記されるでしょう。分かってますよね。あなたは絶対勝てません。これは戦いでさえない。井戸の底で上を見上げるあなたに石をぶつけるだけの一方的なものなのですから。
わらわに選べるの。図書館の魔女たちはわらわの最後をいかに記すかだけという。
You know what, Beatrice? Let's go down with the five.
あとはあなた次第です。もしあなたがこのゲーム版を愛おしく思うなら報復すべきです。駒たちは末永く大勢の市民に愛され、その役目を永遠に続けることができるでしょう。
Oh, I do not trust this at all. Like, I don't think I'm gonna buy this explanation, Erika.
つまりは好き放題に生み出した惨劇を永遠に繰り返すということ。
あんたがしてきたことと何か違いが？
ないな。以上か？ならばわらわの答えを聞かせよ。
どうぞ。
Erika tensed slightly. After all, this was the great Lady Beatrice which she was dealing with. She might shout, "Here is my answer!" dramatically, and do something crazy. They say a cornered rat is the most likely to bite a cat. Furthermore, Erika had intel telling her that the great Lady Lambda Delta, Witch of the Senate, had been spending her time inside the Gold Land, though only as a theater goer. Erika needed to carry out this noble task that her master had assigned her, and she had to carry it out perfectly. If she was honest, she wanted to make Beato raise a white flag, even by trickery if necessary. So, even though this was a farce, she held back from giving any unneeded provocation. She gulped and tried to size Beato up. Oh, Rika, compared to Beato, you would get clobbered. Also like how she's actually intimidated by Beatrice. And then, with a pathetic expression on her face, Beato let out a sigh.
素直に言う。わらわはもう疲れた。
それはどういう意味です？
わらわのゲームはバトラとの戦いを終えた時点ですでにその目的を終えている。なのにその後の都合で何度もゲームが繰り返されたのだ。わらわは正直もう疲れている。
Wait. She may be stalling for Balor and Angie.
正直全く想像していないお返事でした。では降伏なさると？本気で？
Yeah, this is definitely like a 5v chess move that's going on here.
ぶっちゃけるとどっちでもよい。降伏でもそなたらに討ち取られるのでもどっちでもよい。わらわは誰の手であっても構わぬからこのゲーム版とその物語が幕を下ろすことを望んでいる。
Of course. That was a lie. She knew she couldn't win even if she fought. For now, their best option was to play for time. Yep, okay. They would fix Erika's attention to this spot, and during that time, Balor and the others would steal the key from Burn Castle while she was completely off her guard. Once they had the key, they would return to the Golden Land, use that key to let Angie open the door to the future and see her off. Okay. That was their goal line. Everything that happened after that would be inside the cat box. Angie would live on into the future with hope. No one would know whether Beato and the others were alive or dead. That was enough. The only strategy Beato and the others could use to achieve this was to buy time.
降伏してくれるなら拍子抜けではありますが、私も手間が省けて助かります。
ところがそう綺麗にはいかんのだ。だな、ここだけの話なのだが、そなたも存じておろうが大ラムダデルタ教がご滞在されている。今日は我らにドラマチックなクライマックスを提供せよとな、わがままを申されている。
それはひどいわがままですね。10万の兵力を要する我が艦隊にすでに解き終えたパズルみたいな絞りかすのあんたたちがほんの数十人でどう抵抗させようというのです？
You see, we have a very big battle on the moon where Krauss leads the charge against the moon rabbits. Now I know the Chester sisters are on our side, but hear me out. It will be a very interesting scenario where the Chesters, quote-unquote, backstab Beatrice's group and join Erika so that Krauss can have a battle with them on the moon. As Witch Nanjo regains his power. In the process, Balor will have to lose his hand, though.
そうなのだ、そうなのだ。戦力差は圧倒的。戦いにさえならぬと我らは言っておるのだがな。ラムダデルタ教が彼女の友人たちを集めて共闘するから徹底抗戦せよと言って聞かぬのだ。
ラムダデルタ教の
Oh, that might have been a slip up. Unlike Burn Castle, who kept to herself, Lambda Delta had many friends. Okay, so that might not have been a slip up. Her friends and patrons were either territory lords of great influence who came from all over the place, or else monsters that had become legends in their own lifetimes. In all seriousness, her so-called fan club had enough size and influence that it could have suddenly declared itself a separate country in the Sea of Fragments without anyone being overly surprised. She's powerful.
ラムダデルタ卿はやる気満々でな。さっきから勝手に各地に電話を繰り返し、友人知人を呼びつけておるのだ。
God. Is this time for a Retta cameo? Of course, this was all a lie. Lambda Delta had turned into a small candy comet and was now shooting towards the city of books, with Battler and Angie in tow. So, to make sure that Lambda Delta and Battler's absences were not noticed, everyone was crowded around the arbor, pretending to argue fiercely with each other. I want to hear their fake argument.
バトラ様、ご決断を。我ら煉獄の七姉妹、いつでも死ぬ覚悟はできております。
玉砕には反対だ。
Okay.
死んで咲く果実などありはせんよ。
あなたは腰抜けです。生きて旅衆の恥ずかしめを受けるなど考えられません。生きてこそチャンスを待てることもあります。
そうですとも。短期は損期とも申します。
Lambda brings in Cthulhu confirmed. I mean, I feel like Erika would have a run for her money if fucking Cthulhu showed up.
ナトラ、男ならバシッと決めろい。
Of course, Rudolph would be in for fighting.
大ラムダデルタ様が力を貸してくれるってんだろ。
どうかや。男には決断の時があるんやで。
決断は選んだ内容よりも選んだ時を称賛されることもございます。
降伏すれば乱暴はしないかも。
そんなことあるわけないわよ。あんたそれでもオスラよ。牙はどこに行ったのよ。
Damn!
どうせ死ぬなら豚としてでなく狼として死にたい。あんたバカ。そういうのを犬死にって言うのよ。
ラムダデルタさんの呼び寄せる援軍の力次第ですな。
There we go! Nanjo's about to break out his witch form.
ラムダデルタさん、本当にあなたのお友達はあいつらに勝てるだけの力があるの？
賭けね。降伏して死ぬか、賭けに出て敗れて死ぬか。
あら、なら賭けに出た方が生き残れる可能性は高いってことになるわ。
大法院は名誉ある幸福には慈悲を与えるでしょう。
バックは元老院だろ。どうせなんだかんだ言って全員断頭台に決まったら。
とにかく皆さん冷静に頭を冷やしましょう。私は事を荒立てることには反対です。
君こそ冷静になるべきじゃないかい。
Damn!
相互確証破壊という戦略もある。仮に勝てないにせよ、こちらもただで済ます気はないという戦略は相手への抑止になるよ。
つまりよ、そっちがやる気ならこっちもただじゃ死なねえぜってことだぜ。
Maria's just enjoying the chaos.
ラムダデルタの友達はみんなすごいよ。みんなすごい伝説と武勇伝を持つすっごい魔女や怪物、悪魔や神様がいっぱいなんだから。
Oh yeah, Lambda Delta's about to bring out Cthulhu.
あんなお船が星と同じ数を並べていたって一息で吹き飛ばしてしまうよ。
大丈夫でしょうか。私たちの演技蹴取られないでしょうか。
Shut up, Goda! Oh my god, Goda! No! Fucking A, do not! You fucking idiot!
問題ない。お前ももっと語気を強めて喋るのだ。武
無礼講に行け。
Hell yeah, Genji. Now, Genji, are you gonna do it too?
腰抜けどもめ、最後に一花咲かせてやろうという気概はないのか。
ちょっとお待ちください。戦いを望まぬ者がいることもお忘れなく。私は降参が良いかと思います。
Of course you want to surrender.
何？ゴーダー！この敗北主義者め！
You know what, Kinzo? Act like the crazy old man you always have been.
痛い親方様、演技出すので、あいた。
Shut up, Goda. Goda, shut the fuck up.
さあ議論も盛り上がってきたね。
私たちは幸福かしら、当選かしら、どうなのかしら。
Which one will it be indeed?
それは誰にもわからない。
個人的にはわらわは幸福を望んでいる。どうせ役目を終えるのなら、せめて自分が生み出したこのゲーム版はそのままに保存されることを望む。もうこれ以上わらわのゲーム版をラムダデルタ教に好き放題されるのはごめんなのでな。
こちらこそごめんです。あんたとは戦いに来ましたが、ラムダデルタ教のご友人は私の相手の度を超えます。
Getting cold feet at the thought that he had to fight Cthulhu? Secretly, Erika was getting worried by these complicated developments. And she was relieved that she hadn't been pushed too hard earlier on. She wanted to flatter Beato and end this with a bloodless takeover. Even the great Lady Lambda Delta probably wouldn't seriously think of picking a fight with the Senate. Her motive was probably something more trivial, a simple desire to watch the game board's final fireworks from a front row seat. However, if she really did have some fireworks of her own prepared, it was at least possible that this could turn into a ruckus that Erika would have no chance of quelling. Beato saw all this going on in Erika's mind. So she continued to act with an even more pathetic expression on her face. Oh my god, this is such a good plan actually. Even among witches, her acting ability was top-notch.
そなたもどうか力を貸してはくれぬか。わらわのゲーム版が美しい姿のまま保存されるように。やはりあの賑やかな御人を客人として招いたのは失敗だった。とほほほ。
The sad toho.
わかりました。私もことを荒立てずに済むならそうしたいです。で、私はどのような協力をすれば？
わらわたちはさっきから幸福か好戦か議論を続けている。
I like that detail. I like the detail of her having a slight smile on her face because she knows this plan is working.
わらはもうそれに戻り、幸福を主張し、ラムダデルタ教にこのゲーム版を壊してしまうような大騒ぎはやめてほしいと頼むつもりだ。
それは助かります。で、どうしろと？
わらわたちに議論の時間を保証してほしい。何しろそなたらの船がぐるりと取り囲み威圧しているのだからな。いつ攻撃されるかもわからぬと緊張感に耐えかねてみんな破れかぶれになっておるのだ。だからそなたが我らに議論の時間を保証してくれれば、一同も冷静になれる時間を取り戻せるだろう。わらわもラムダデルタ教を説得できる十分な時間を得られる。
いいでしょう。
Let's take these fleets and push them somewhere else.
時間はいかほど必要です？
That is a very delayed dialogue. Because she just granted them more time. However, it does not show that in the text. It just says the first line, which is very well. That is a really weird way for the text to appear with the voice acting. I think they're trying to emulate the original script. However, it's making some dialogue play at the wrong time.
できれば気前よく無制限とはいかぬか。期限があれば結局は残り時間が少なくなるとまたみんな破れかぶれになり過激な意見に統一されてしまう。
そりゃそうですね。導火線で大事なのは火がついているかいないかです。その議論の前に導火線の長さなどどうでもいいことでしょうから。
ではしばし時間をもらえるか。
わかりました。議論の時間を保証します。ただし無期限ではありません。私はここで皆さんの議論を聞きながら待たせてもらいます。
それがそのだな、そなたの姿が見えていてはやはり皆緊張してしまって。
私はすでに譲歩をしました。今度はあなたが私に譲歩をする番ではありませんか。
They were some distance away from the arbor, but it was just close enough to get the general idea of what was going on. It was far enough that they might be able to hide the fact that Battler and Lamb Delta were missing. Just far enough for them to convincingly act like this just far enough for them to convincingly act like this was a white-hot argument in Gridlock. If it were possible, they would rather have kept Erika at an even greater distance. They had planned to set up a seat of honor for their guests at one of the far corners of the garden maze.
何か問題でも？
わかったわかった。そう怖い顔をするでない。ならここでしばらく待つがよい。秘密会議であるからな。そなたはだな、この線よりこちらに来てはならぬぞ。
Aoto drew a line in the ground with her foot.
わらわの顔も立てよ。そなたがこれだけ寛大な配慮をしてくれたことはわらわにとって何よりの武器となるのだ。
椅子もらえます？
わかったわかった。シエスタ隊よ、すぐにエリカ殿にお椅子と傘を。手ぬぐいもな。わらわが自ら拭いてピカピカにしてから差し上げようぞ。
Oh my god. The brief seconds where her sprite is just smiling evilly is so good.
今年の主演女優賞はわらわで決まりだぞ。
さすがベアトリーチェ様。
Hell yeah.
僕たちにできることは激論を交わし紛糾し、ことがこじれれば面倒なことになると演出することだけだ。
これもまたバトラたちを援護する戦いである。皆気を引き締めよ。本気で激論し罵倒せよ。よいな。
はい、親方様。
Is Ginzo still holding Goda? The sight of Goda, his red cheeks swollen, red and swollen from being pinched, made everyone snort. But they quickly covered their mouths and put their fingers to their lips. Then, everyone nodded at each other, and the fake argument resumed. Erika was sitting in the chair that the Chiesa sisters had brought her, filling a goat in on the details of their discussions. The goats would probably return and tell the rest of the fleet. The fleet would tell Burncastle, and Burncastle might think of some plan to deal with the situation or give new orders. The conversation with the goat ended, and it spun around. It would return to the dinghy and report this to the fleet. It slipped out from a rose bush and passed through the garden maze, heading towards the door that led outside. Is it really okay to let that goat reach the boats? If it goes back, Erika's report will reach Burncastle's ears. The Chester sisters spoke through a secret channel that only they could use.
2秒に音も許さないに
Oh my god. Are they gonna kill the goat?
もうじきエリカの認識半径を抜けます
Oh my god, they're gonna kill the goat.
船頭のヤギの認識半径に到達するまでの推定10秒間暗殺は実行可能です
Shoot the messenger.
ベアトリーチェ卿暗殺許可をやれますエリカに気取らせません
許可しない
What?
分子が制限時間を切らずに船を出ると思うか連絡がなくば決められた時間の後に攻撃を開始せよと命じられているはず、
okay, that makes sense.
そのヤギを見逃せ
ダブルオ了解
The goat passed through the door. Then, after receiving a silent bow from Shanna and Cannon, it got on the dinghy and returned to the fleet. The fleet would probably follow Riko's orders and stand by until an attack order was given. That gave the residents of the Golden Land a chance to assassinate Rika. But of course, that wasn't going to be possible, practically speaking. She was Burncastle's greatest underling, and a witch who controlled the truth. Tricking her was all they could hope for. Anything else would be overconfident.
あんたたちも座ったらどうです
Before the goat takes a seat, I do want to use the restroom real quick. Oh,
我らのことはお構いなくであります
never mind, it was for the Chiesters. Alright, everyone please enjoy the Chiesters as I quickly run to the restroom. I actually really need to go right now. My little Ren fell off the microphone, so let me put her back on. Okay. Hopefully hopefully this little keychain does not hit the mic too much while I'm streaming, since that's gonna make a little annoying metallic clinging sound throughout the entire stream. I mean, if I don't touch the mic too much, I think Ren's not gonna bother it too much. Yeah, I'm starting to think that I might be getting a stomach bug because my stomach has not been feeling good all stream. But I'm good enough to continue on playing. Without any hint that she had just been talking about assassinations, Double O stood upright with her hands clasped behind her back. Surrender, or resist until the end. The false argument resumed. Just how far and how long would they be able to track Erika? Yes, the final fight for the Golden Land had already begun. Hell yeah.
ここは我らに任せよ。そなたはエンジェと最後のゲームを取り返すのだ。
Let's do this. Are we gonna go over to battle our Nanji? I think we are. There's no other place we would go outside of Featherine. Yeah, no, this is battle our Nanji, not Featherine. Although I'm intrigued what she's doing right now.
なんてバカでかい図書館だ。
この一冊一冊に私たちのような物語が記されてるんですって。
ここは神様の世界だな。
あんたたち風情が立ち入っていい場所じゃないってことが一目でわかるでしょ。
After passing through the barrier, the three of them had finally made it inside the City of Books. For some time, they were overcome by the countless otherworldly sights before them, but they quickly remembered their original objective.
いい？まず勘違いしないでほしいの。あんたたちはベルンと戦いに来たわ。でもそれはベルンと直接戦って倒すとか、そういう意味じゃないんだからね。
分かってる。
そもそも大ベアドリーチェと互角にあんたが戦えたのはゲーム版の上で互角なルールに守られて戦っていたからよ。ゲーム版を出ればあんたなんかバチンって叩かれて手のひらのシミになる程度の存在なんだからね。それを忘れるんじゃないわよ。
そうよね。ここはもう私たちの知るゲーム版じゃない。
俺たちは戦いに来たんじゃない。取り戻しに来ただけだ。
そういうこと。一なる真実の書の公開を妨げること。それだけが目的であんたたちの戦いなんだからね。そこを勘違いしちゃダメよ。
Balor and Angie nodded to show their understanding.
一なる真実の書はパーティーのど真ん中に堂々と飾られてるから奪い返すのは不可能よ。でも式次第によると鍵が入場してくることになってる。
ということは鍵は別の場所に保管されているわけか。
そこが無防備という保証はないけどね。
あとはあんたたちの運次第よ。せいぜい幸運を祈るのね。隠れて。
Oh. Lamb Delta pulled her head back from around the corner of a bookshelf. The others hurriedly followed suit. In the distance, they saw emerald green lights floating about and leaving trails. The cats.
あれはベルンの使い魔の猫よ。今日はあちこちを巡回して見張っているわ。
It's like she knew something like this would occur.
私たちが来ることも読まれてる。
わ。
お
ここは広大だからね。迷子になるアンポンタンな来客を迷子センターにお連れするためのふさん船だよ。
俺たちが行きたいのは迷子センターじゃねえからな。
見つかりそうになったらやる？
How would you take one out?
よした方がいいわ。よその領地やゲーム版ならともかく、ここはベルンのホームグラウンドよ。あの猫一匹で猛獣の群れに囲まれたくらいの危機感は持つことね。しかも猫よ。勘も鋭いし仲間も呼ぶわ。気取られたらその時は覚悟しなさい。私も助けないからね。あんたたちをここへ連れ込んだだけでかなり厄介。私が降参すれば裸にひんむかれて最悪のゲロカスかけら巡り100年くらいで許してもらえるかも。素敵だわ。私にもベルンの気持ちがちょっとは理解できるようになるかもね。
I wonder if this line relates to Higurashi Go Sotsu. I am not elaborating on that joke further. I know how heated some When They Cry fans get about Go Sotsu. Lambda Delta wasn't laughing. I should probably make a video talking about that eventually. But I'm waiting to finish Umineko first before I go back into Higurashi Go Sotsu. So I'll refrain on making many jokes on it right now, but I definitely know that a lot of When They Cry fans don't like the existence of Go Sotsu. Lambda Delta wasn't laughing. Neither were the When They Cry fans when I made that joke. Most likely, even this punishment she spoke of was pretty optimistic. Even though she keeps saying that she won't help anymore. She's already risking everything. Why?
決まってんでしょ。
She's on their side. Lambda Delta brushed her hair back and grinned.
あんたたちが最高のハッピーエンドを見せてくれるからでしょうが。
Ooh, okay. Whoa, hold on. Yeah, no, you can't hide this CG with the text box. I want to see it. Oh, that's actually really cool. It's like they're, plotting something. Like the three of them are, putting their heads together to make their plan. Oh, that's cool CG. Although it kind of looks like Battler and Angie are like nodding off to some drugs. I'm sorry. Why is there so dim of lights in their eyes compared to Lambda Delta? Their eyes are so dim and the expressions they are making are so dim! Compared to how bright and flashy Lambda Delta is, they look so sad, like they're high or something. Oh, there's lyrics to this song. I'm losing monetization for this stream. Lambda Delta hug their heads at the same time, making their foreheads bonk together. I mean, the song is pretty good, actually, from what I'm hearing so far.
見せなさいよ。絶対。
お、見せてやるぜ。
Hell yeah.
絶対のハッピーエンド。
絶対に取り返す。
I feel like they should be more determined in their expressions rather than staring off into space. Sorry, I'm overly judging the CG. I'm overly judging the CG because I like how Lambda Delta is presented. I don't know. I just get a weird feeling from the way that they drew Battler and Angie in the CG. Like, usually Umineko does great CGs. This one, though, I do have some questions about.
行くわよ。こっちよ。静かに泳いで。
Alright. The three of them swam out into the darkness of the deep ocean trench that was the City of Books. In that massive, vast trench bookshelves, they vanished into the darkness almost immediately. The library defied the common sense of the human world. The City of Books. The word city was no exaggeration. The world? I almost said the world. The word city was no exaggeration. And it was filled with the green, glowing eyes of Berncastle's countless cat familiars. All I have to say is Lambda existed in the original game of Higurashi, granting Takano's wish before Gosotsu. Oh, yeah. I mean, that would make sense, actually, if you think about it. Wait, was that Lambda Delta? Actually, I did not know about this, actually. Granting Takano's wish before Gosotsu. I don't remember Lambda Delta doing that. I thought that was Berncastle, wasn't it? Or was it Lambda Delta? I thought it was Berncastle that granted the wish. Hold on, I need to check something, actually. I know I should not be using the manga as a reference, but I thought Berncastle showed up for, Takano. Yeah, I know I should not be using the manga as a reference, but hold on. I don't remember that. Wait, I have a Japanese copy of the manga, too, but hold on. Yeah, isn't this Berncastle? Isn't this Berncastle showing up for, young Takano? I thought that was Berncastle. Hold on. Yeah, no wait, hold on. That was Berncastle. She's granting a miracle for Takano. Hold on. That doesn't make sense. I don't remember Lambda Delta. I mean, Lambda... Did she exist? I don't remember that. I thought it was only Berncastle. The Japanese version of this volume as well, because I do not remember Lambda Delta. In the visual novel, you can hear Lambda's voice in Takano's backstory. What? Wait, what? Hold on, what? Maybe I've not... Burn came in after episode 8. Huh? I do not remember this. Hold on. I need to replay Matsuri Bayashi then. I need to replay Matsuri Bayashi because I remember Berncastle. Maybe that's because of the anime and manga. Because Berncastle also shows up. Yeah, Berncastle shows up. Maybe this is a manga-only thing where Berncastle shows up. Because I do not remember Lambda Delta at all. Oh my... I had to look this up. Hold on. I'm losing my mind. Like, really? Wait, hold on. Lambda Delta Higurashi appearing. Yeah, no, I believe you can get more Shusentatsu, but I do not remember this. I do not remember this at all. Hold on. Maybe I can look this up later, or maybe I will just install the Matsuri Bayashi novel, but I do not remember this. Hold on. Can I... Oh, hold on. I don't want to look into any of the stuff for Umineko. I want to see other appearances. There we go. Yeah, no, I'm only looking on the sections of the 07th expansion Wikia about Higurashi for Lambda Delta, because I do not remember this. Hold on. Lambda's appearance is inspired by an outfit from the Japanese fashion magazine Gothic Lolita Bible. The outfit appeared in issue 27, page 54. Okay, that's not related. Okay, so Rikishi09 considers Lambda as one of his favorite characters. There's an extra story in Umineko with Lambda talking about it after episode 8. Okay. Okay, I might read that extra story because I do not remember her involvement in Higurashi. It's not that I don't believe you, I've just never heard of this, actually. Huh. Very interesting. Huh. Yeah, no, I'll probably look into this more after stream as well as once I'm done with Umineko. But I guess I'm very surprised by hearing that Lambda Delta was somewhat involved with Higurashi because, I read Higurashi multiple times. Like, I even read it in the manga in Japanese and in English, and I never remember hearing Lambda Delta's voice, but maybe I need to just replay the game. It's been a while since I last installed, like, the Higurashi game, so I might, you know, be misremembering stuff. but I do remember Featherweed. No, not Featherweed. I meant to say Burn Castle. I remember Burn Castle showing up in the manga. By the way, I never understood why Yin Press never adapted this cover. The English translation of, Higurashi. I never understood why they never adapted this cover, because this is the best cover. I think this is one of the best covers of the Matsuri Bayashi arc. I think this is one of the best covers. But, I'll continue ranting about Higurashi at a later time. But at the same time, that is very interesting that Lambda Delta had an appearance in Higurashi. And I can't believe I don't remember it. I'm probably going to bring this up in future streams, King of Warriors Shutentatsu. I will definitely bring this up in future streams, because I don't remember that at all. The library defied the common sense of the human world. The city of books. The word city was no exaggeration, and it was filled with the green, glowing eyes of Burn Castle's countless cat familiars. Trying to count them would be almost as crazy as counting all the fish in the ocean. He has a lot of cats. They formed schools that swam all over the place. On the lookout for any fools who might miraculously have managed to slip in and disturb their master's party. Whew, that's human teeth, not cat teeth. If Barrow's group was found, the cats would report it instantly. Lambda looks more like Child Takano than Satsuko, so I always related her more to Takano, at least before Go Sotsu, which doesn't exist. Yep. Yeah, a lot of people don't recognize Go Sotsu's existence. I'm not going to elaborate on my feelings on that just yet, since I need to finish Go Sotsu as well as Umineko first before I say my full opinions on that. I do like making jokes about Go Sotsu, though, I will admit. But yeah, one last ramble about the, Higurashi and Lambda Delta connection. I could probably find a cover with young Takano on it, but if you look at young Takano, that's pretty Lambda looking. Like, she looks very much like Lambda in this depiction. Like, it's very Lambda core. Lambda core. That is insane. Lambda core. Lambda core. But yeah, no, young Takano definitely looks a lot more like Lambda Delta than Satsuko does. I mean, yeah, hold on. This is so sidetracking in the middle of the story, I know, but I just gotta show this real quick. Yeah, so this is young Takano, and this is Satsuko. They may both be blonde, but Satsuko has a bit more of a messier hair, while young Takano's hair is a bit neater. Yeah, these are two totally different characters. One has more messier hair, and one has more neater hair, and if we look at Lambda Delta Sprite later, you'll see that she had more neater hair, and Satsuko's hair is slightly shorter than young Takano's. It's the hair shortness. Yeah, I think it's pretty much just like the length of hair as well as its style. Because Satsuko's hair is a bit more messier, and Takano's hair is a bit more neater. But the only way to find out is by reading more of the media. If Barrow's group was found, the cats would report it instantly. They would probably form a pact, open their large mouths, and swallow them in a single gulp. Did I turn the stream back on? Hold on. Am I showing my screen? Okay, yeah, I'm showing my screen. That's good. That's good. There would be no fight. In this place, Fowler's party would be swallowed like tiny fishes if they were discovered. The warships surrounding the glowing land were well more than 100 strong. Each of them had dozens of cannons pointing at the door to the glowing land. The goats packed the decks of the ships, numbered in the tens of thousands. Each one of them carried enough anti-magic toxins or things that couldn't deny one of the game more pieces. This time, they would chew apart and eat away everything. the crowd of goats unleashed their rotten breath and mingling drool. At that time, Erika, who wanted to avoid trouble and hoped Beato would be able to convince Lambda Delta to surrender peacefully, while sitting all alone, calmly enjoying the tea Renove had poured for her. Of course, even Erika wasn't planning to give them unlimited time. In her mind, she had already decided to allow them 3 yawns before stepping in.
意外に悪くないものですね。あのベアトが敗北主義者と罵られながらみんなを説得してるのを眺めるのも。
あの短気だったお嬢様がよくぞここまで大人になられたものです。
Remember and go when Yao refers to Sadako as Spinal Cord 34. Spinal Cord 34. I mean, Lambda Delta means 34 in Greek. And I will also point out, Mio also means 34 in Japanese. But Spinal Cord 34. I do remember that in Go because I watched all the way through in Go, but I have not finished Sotsu yet. Interesting.
何がおかしいの？
いいえ、失礼いたしました。次の紅茶はいかがです？
I'm also going to have to rewatch Go before I rewatch Sotsu. Well, catch up on Sotsu, I should say, since I never finished it. Because I think I remember the mention of Spinal Cord 34, but I don't know what it means. Like, I know it has something to do with, like, the connection between Lambda Delta and Mio Takano, but I don't know anything else.
古今東西、あらゆる名茶をどうかごゆっくりお楽しみくださいませ。
ラムダのベアト側について徹底抗戦。仲間を集めて。まさか冗談でしょ。
The messenger cat shook its head, then continued to dispassionately meow its report.
ラムダだってそこまでバカじゃない。アウアウを敵に回すような真似をすればどういうことになるかわからない子じゃないはず。
Even as she said this, Berncastle was shooting away at her thumbnail.
あの子、ああ見えて妙な友人が多いのよ。
We are probably missing additional context from the Kikonia side of connections. I've also have not read Kikonia. I was actually waiting until after Umineko for Kikonia, but I'm going to be reading that one off stream. Mainly due to the streaming guidelines of Kikonia. I'm not wanting to really risk that, so I'm gonna rather make a long video essay about my thoughts on Kikonia rather than stream Kikonia or make a let's read video. As much as I would love to, you know, film my reactions live, I want to be on the safe side of Rikishi 7-0. I mean, no, 0-7.
それもとびきりの化け物で物好きな連中はね。
I'm also probably gonna have to check the Silent Hill F streaming rules. I think it's fine to stream, but I'll have to double check that.
それでも元老院に立てつく側につくなんて。
It was possible. She could think of many monsters among Lamsel's friends who would love to see a losing side gain support to make a comeback victory. Before she realized it, the finger Berncastle was biting was covered in sweat.
やりかねない。あの子、たまに本当にバカだから。
Wow. Such a plausible, you know, such a plausible thing that Beatrice has set up.
電話よ、早く!
The cat leapt away, then flew back with the phone and received it.
あの子の友人たちに電話するわ。バカなゲームに関わらないようにって警告しなくちゃ。
He is so easily tricked on this one.
電話番号。なんで私って番号登録してないのよ。
Don't have a phone book?
ええ、そうよね。私。
Damn!
ゼロだもんね。
Maybe you should work on that. Burn scared of Cthulhu confirmed. I mean, Cthulhu's ain't that bad. Plus, also, he has tentacles, so.
電話のお作法って最初はもしもしでよかったんだったかしら
And I was thinking about the tentacles for myself, not for anything else. No, I want the tentacles first. Very good point. That meow had a very good reason. That meow had a very, very good statement. Oh. The golden key was being kept in a room inside the city of books. However, perhaps room wasn't a fitting word to use. It was large enough that you could possibly fit 2 dome baseball stadiums in it if you tried. Even so, in this city, these were called rooms. Dome baseball stadium. How big is a dome baseball stadium? Hold on. How big is that? Size of dome baseball stadium. What's the cover stadiums by capacity? Hold on. Capacity. Okay, that's a football stadium, not a baseball. I'm looking for a baseball stadium, not a football. No, that's football. Well, that's American football. Oh my god. Oh, wait, where's the baseball stadium? I wish I knew more international sports teams. God, NFL stadiums are big. Football. Football stadiums are very big. I mean, football, yeah. Premier League, what's that called? American Football Minor League. God. And also American Football Leagues. Are all cover stadiums just football? Oh my god, is there a baseball team? I just want to know one baseball team. Oh my god. I don't know many sports teams. There we go. Chase Field of the... Yeah, Chase Field of... I think it's the Arizona Diamondbacks. How big is the stadium size? Field sides, left field is 101 meters. Left center is 114 meters. Why did they separate it by field sides? Can I just get the size of the whole stadium itself? I mean, the capacity since 2023 is 48,000. Can I just get the dimensions? Hold on. Chase Field dimensions. I don't want the field. I want to know the full. I want to know the full stadium's dimensions. I want the whole stadiums, not just the fields. Okay, hold on. Oh god, it has 58 private luxury suites? What the fuck? Why do you need luxury suites for a sports stadium? I don't understand. Alright, the roof opening is almost 5.5 acres. That's huge. That is huge. Probably to fit all those, it's probably to fit all those luxury suites. Why is there luxury suites in a football? I mean, not football stadium, a baseball stadium. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Either way, these rooms in the library of in the library of books, the rooms are big. That's what we were trying to, say here. The library of books rooms are big. Floating in the center of this vast room were several sacred magic circles. Wrapped around these magic circles was Angie's gold key. Surrounding these were countless emerald green stars, which looked like a slowly revolving planetarium. The eyes that numbered the same as the stars were all glaring in the same direction.
いやーね、怖い目をして。私は味方でしょ？忘れた？
What are you doing, Ava? One of the cats cat-paddled towards Ava, yelling that no one was allowed to enter this room.
ベルンカステル卿よりこの鍵の警護を仰せつかったわ。だからここは私に任せて、あんたたちはどっかに行っちゃってちょうだいな。
After looking at each other with suspicious eyes, the cats glared at Ava again, as though saying they hadn't heard any such order.
ところで、猫って体柔らかいのよね。
Are you gonna start petting the cats? That was quite a thing.
じゃあ、噛めるわよ。
Oh! I thought you were gonna pet the cats. Why would I think that? You're Ava. Ava does weird things. Oh! Ava lifted up her golden staff, and the floor and ceiling of the vast room were covered with red lines. Why is she trying to, why is she trying to get to the key like that? The reaction from the cats was lightning fast. They realized instantly that this was hostile behavior. The entire Emerald Green constellation went right and became a single, massive deep pit. Yeah, no, my cat's not down here, darn. I was gonna show off my own cat and say, hey, one of Burn's guards is here. He's not down here. Which charged at Ava with its cavernous mouth open wide. However, at the same time, the red lines on the floor and ceiling, the massive spiderweb, pinched itself together and crushed the fish. Twisted it, spun it around and around, and compressed it into the size of a small ball. Damn, she killed the cats. Then, that ball-shaped thing burst open, leaving nothing left. It all happened in an instant.
へそでも噛んで死んじゃえば。
Maybe she doesn't want anyone reading her diary. Oh, we're back in reality. The witch hunters were holding a convention in the event hall. After all, when Ushiromiya Ava's diary was opened, the endless cat box would be lost, along with the countless imagined stories that had entertained them for so long. So, this final convention was a time for them to air their best theories one last time. While the opening of the cat box did give them a slightly lonely feeling, they couldn't contain their excitement as intellectual rapists. Not when they knew that the Rokkenjima mystery was finally going to be solved once and for all. If that box were opened, a single girl would be hurt. However, their jaws and fangs couldn't care less. The witch-hunting goats nobles kept licking their lips, wanting to chew apart the guts of Beatrice's cat box as soon as they could. I wonder wonder what the lyrics of the song says. Oh, hey, Featherine. Seated upon a solemn throne, so tall it looks like a pillar. Rikishi Nana Zero Nana listened in on the nonsense being spewed from the mouths of the goat nobles. A black cat wearing a cape silently appeared and whispered something into Featherine's ear.
いいやよい。すべて私の筋書き通りに進んでいる。巫女の耳には入れずともいい。
The cat bowed humbly and vanished. Featherine raised her wine glass high and laughed as she looked through it to the light of the chandelier, which was as beautiful and majestic as the moon.
これで素晴らしき朗読への恩には十分であろう、人の子に。はて、物語を紡いでいるのは誰なのか。私がそなたに、それともそなたが私になのか。
Okay, Rikishi.
これをどう思う？
罠か。
As Violet's group moved forward, darting from bookshelf to bookshelf and avoiding the eyes of the cats, they found something strange. Written with a faintly glowing red substance was a letter, an arrow. K to the left. Keiichi? That's what it looks like to them.
K は鍵を意味してると思うか。
No, it stands for Keiichi.
私たちが近づいたらこの文字が浮かび上がった。これは私たちに向けてのメッセージ。
ここに私たち以外で味方をしてくれる誰かがいるってこと。
I mean, Ava the Uchiche seems to be up to something.
いるのか、俺たちに味方なんて。
AG traced the red arrow with her finger. It was written with a very faint, thin strings that had been tied together. Yep, it's Ava. It's Ava. This red stuff, which stuck to your finger and tore away like cotton candy. I read that line. I didn't mean to accidentally click past it. This red stuff, which stuck to your finger and tore away like cotton candy, had to be their instinct on our side.
私の一番の味方よ。
どうして保証できんのよ。
いや、俺にも分かった。ラムだ。これを書いたやつは信用できる。多分安全に鍵のありかへたどり着けるよう誘導してくれているんだ。
いいのね。じゃあ行きましょう。あまりもたもたしていられない。ありがとう、お母さん。
Let's go. Ava Beatrice's redemption. In the arbor, the argument continued over whether they should surrender or fight continued without signs of stopping. Damn. Every now and then, a small fight would break out, which finally ended up delaying Erika's third yawn. However, they didn't know how long they would have to continue this fake fight. Keeping this high-level attention was physically stressful. The instant they tired out and the tension faded, Erika would probably demand a verdict. They had to constantly appear trapped and agitated. It was a battle of weariness and tension. This was their final fight. Wait, this was their fight. Sorry. Erika waited patiently. Now that she had tired of tea, she was watching Renobe perform some magic tricks. God, they're really testing the lengths of their stalling. And seemed to be enjoying herself considerably. Even Morinove, who was usually aloof from the world, was fighting. If Rika got bored and had a tantrum, an all-out attack would probably begin at once. He was also putting his life on the line in the fight to buy time for battle his group. As the fiercest leader in the argument, Beato wore out the quickest. She breathed heavily, and her face was so pale, it seemed she might faint at any moment.
ベアト、しっかり。そのテンションを続けてたら体力が続かない。
急に泣き出したふりをしてしばらく休んで。その間を私たちがつなぐわ。
まだ大丈夫であると。やるぞ。もう一度大きく騒ごうではないか。行くぞ。さあ誰から行く？一番槍の欲しいものは。
ではゴーダ参ります。
I had a feeling that Goda was gonna say yes to being beaten up.
ここは戦うべきです。戦わずして敗北を受け入れることなど言語道断です。私は最初からここは戦い抜くべきだと申し上げ
Okay,
てお
hold
りま
on.
す。
You were not saying that from the beginning. You were not.
ちょっと待ってください。
Erika suddenly rose from her chair. Fuck, you messed it up, Goda! Renove tried to coax her back into her seat, but Erika's attention was completely focused on those arguing under the arbor.
私は探偵です。
No. No, you're not. You are, the diplomat.
聞いたことは録音するかのように記憶でき
No,
ま
no,
す。
no. As a diplomat, you forget things very quickly.
それは無論知っているとも。そなたは優秀な探偵でもあるからな。
あんたに興味ありません。
Fuck.
ゴーダさん。
Damn it, of course, Goda! Goda, keep to your fucking character!
私の質問に答えてください。
Ava Spider-Man confirmed. She indeed is.
はい。私めが何かご無礼をいたしましたでしょうか。
ちょっとお待ちください。戦いを望まぬ者がいることもお忘れなく。私は降参が良いかと思います。私がここに訪れて一番最初に聞いたあなたの発言です。ですが今あなたはこうおっしゃいました。
Damn it, Goda.
ここは戦うべきです。戦わずして敗北を受け入れることなど言語道断です。
Man, Kenzo should have just pinched his cheek so hard that he was not allowed, so that he couldn't talk for the rest of this argument.
私は最初からここは戦い抜くべきだと申し上げております。そう言いました。
Damn it, Goda.
いや、そんなことも申し上げたでしょうか。
議論の中で意見が変わることも時にあるかと思います。
そうですとも。他の皆さんも先ほどからどちらがいいか迷っておりまして、時に意見を変えられることも。
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that response? Goda! Goda!
いいえ、あなたたちの議論は一貫して誰も意見を変えていません。たった今唐突にゴーダさんだけがその主張を逆転させました。
Well, as if he was convinced by someone's argument.
しかもゴーダさんに対する他の人間からの発言を振り返っても彼が主張を逆転させるに足るものがあったとは思えません。
the real reason why Goto was never included on the Kenzo secret. Oh yeah, he would have definitely revealed it by accident. Like, he would have said something. An uncomfortable, moist wind blew by. Oh. Of all words to describe the wind, why moist? Everyone was silent, frozen as though time had stopped. In that silence, Erika continued with a blank expression.
以上から導き出される推理は2つです。1つは、郷田さんにもともと意見はなく、その場の雰囲気で適当なことを言ういい加減な人間であること。もう一つは、郷田さんに限らず、そもそも誰も意見などなく、
I'd go with the former, not the latter.
あなたたちの目的であるというものです。
それは考えすぎではないか。わらわたちは必死に今後の運命を議論している。時に普段は考えられぬ心変わりがあってもおかしくはない。
意味もなく議論を延長することに意味があるとすれば、時間を稼ぐこと。あなたたちは時間を稼ぐと何が有利になるのです？ラムダデルタ教の援軍がやってくるからですか？それも違います。なぜならあなたたちは先ほどから時折ラムダデルタ教やバトラに話しかけているのですが、それに対する返事が一度たりとも私の耳に聞こえません。以上すべてから考えて導き出される推理は一つです。
That lady Lambda Delta and Valor are not here now. And that these people have won Lady Lambda Delta's assistance. With Lady Lambda Delta and Valor probably planning to sneak into the City of Books. How are you able to conclude this? In which case, their goal is probably to steal back the Golden Key. And Angie, how are you able to conclude this? And your plan was to act as bait and buy time until their mission was complete.
ただゴーダさんがセリフを言い間違えるだけで。
Damn it, Goda.
フルドエリカにはこの程度の推理が可能です。いかがです？皆様方。
I think you're overthinking this. Now, here's the other side. Flip the chessboard. Oh gosh, you got it spot on. With a blank, yet ruthless expression. Erika spoke these words and returned to her seat. Everyone else was frozen, unable to move. No one spoke. However, time was moving. As evidence, a bead of sweat dripped down someone's cheek, fell, hit the table with a tiny yet audible splat. Oh shit. Wait, hold on. Who did the first shot? That was one of the 7 stakes, right? Then, frozen time shattered, and in the same instant, the white chair Rika had been sitting in broke apart. I think that was one of the stakes, right? Yeah. The stakes of the 7 Sisters of Purgatory, and the high-velocity rounds from the Chiesa Sister core hit the chair at exactly the same time. Okay, so they are attacking her. And a few moments after that, the Rika sitting in that chair faded and vanished. Uh-oh.
Nanjo!
In an instant, Erika had moved to a spot behind the chair. Her expression remained as blank as it had been before. However, there was now something in her hand that hadn't been there. As the 7 lightning strikes of the 7 sisters raced at her once more, she batted all of them away with her scythe.
とんだ茶番でした。でも紅茶は美味しかったですよ。ごちそうさまです。では皆さんの意見は最初から統一されているようですし。
Alright, you know what you must do. You know what you must do, Krauss. Break out the boxing gloves. Time to box Erika. Because she is Erika. Yep. Yep, Erika Fruto, the great detective. Erika must have the worst time with paranoia. Oh my god, yeah. She must have very bad paranoia.
改めましてお返事をお伺いしますよ。
Erika lifted her left hand, the one that wasn't holding the sky.
よかろうぞ。わらわが答えよう。
Alright, Beatrice, you know what you must do. Tell her to fuck off in the most diplomatic way possible.
ここはわらわの我らの黄金鏡。土足で踏み入るならば相応の歓迎をしようぞ。つまり上品に一言で言うとな、
全方面攻撃準備。
Wow, let her finish first!
目標黄金鏡。
味噌汁で顔洗って出直してきやがれ。
日やれ。
Right. It's up to you, Battler and AG.
そう、ありがとう。それじゃまたにゃー。
Oops, sorry about that. Barncastle sat down the receiver and crossed out yet another name on a list of Lambda Delta's notable friends. Something was wrong. Not a single person she called had heard anything from Lambda Delta. They weren't just playing dumb. They really knew nothing about the strange ruckus Lambda Delta was trying to stir up. Even Barncastle was starting to suspect that something was fishy. Then, a black cat leapt in and meowed in a frantic report. Oh!
黄金鏡にラムダとバトラがいない。
Seems like Barncastle just figured it out. She tore the phone receiver from its stand. The number she dialed was short. It was probably an internal line. However, after listening to it ring several times, she slammed the receiver down again, finally managing to break the phone.
手の空いている猫をすべて集めなさい。大至急。鍵の警護にやった猫たちが誰も応答しない。ラムダー。
She is pissed. Barncastle, overwhelmed with emotion, kicked the table over. I think this is the first time I've seen her lose composure. Then, the room finally grew bright. It was like green sunlight. A bright green light waved about, giving the illusion that a green sun was rising and lighting the room up. It was a sign that Barncastle's army had been given an emergency summons.
さあおいで、子猫たち。魔女狩りの時間よ。あの子はキャンディーの匂いがするからね。すぐに見つけられるわ。最初に見つけた猫には人の姿と魔女の称号をあげるわ。
Hey, new character coming up? What was now an emerald green nebula let out. What was now an. Oh my god. What was now an emerald green nebula let out a roar of delight that shook the bookshelf cliff. Holy shit, she has a lot of cats. And she is crashing out.
何かが追ってくるわ。
なんだあれは。緑。
You guys need to start moving.
隠れて。バレたのよ。
The three of them frantically hid behind a bookshelf. The room with the key in it was straight ahead. They could see something glistening faintly in the darkness of that room. It was a glimpse, different from anything else they had seen so far in the city. The color of the glimpse was gold. They had almost reached the golden key. However, if they went towards it, Burn Castle would be right behind them, along with a vast swarm of familiars. In other words, they were trapped in a dead end. Oh shit. They already knew that the emerald green color came from the eyes of the familiars. However, it was almost beyond comprehension that this undulating green sun could be the same thing. And they could do nothing except stare in wide-eyed shock. Countless cats were passing through the ravine of bookshelves, from the very top to the very bottom. As they approached, they painstakingly checked the gaps between each book. However, even this mind-numbingly huge tax was accompanied swiftly, thanks to the sheer amount of familiars. Breaking news: Cat has crash out over tea and candy. Yeah, sounds like something that a cat would do. Oh my god. Man, the cat eyes are kind of spooky in this game. Also, I need to use the restroom again. I'm almost done with my Gatorade, and I feel my bladder, so I'll be right back. Enjoy the cat eyes as I'm gone. Alright, I am back. It is time to continue seeing Burn Castle's crash out. With the speed of a gust of wind, they carefully checked every nook and cranny. There was no way to hide from this green sun. That would have been as foolish as trying to hide from water on a sinking ship. Probably not.
無理だ。あれじゃどこに隠れても見つかれ。
Battler was just about to leap out from the shadows, but then Delta grabbed him by the collar an instant before.
戦う気？
違う。ここにとどまって見つかるだけだ。なら前へ進むしかない。一刻も早く鍵にたどり着くんだ。
鍵を守る猫がいないわけないでしょ。私たちは挟み撃ちにされたのよ。
Maybe if there's like some red spider webs nearby, you could follow them to a safe location.
私はエヴァおばさんを信じる。
Indeed, I believe Ava has a plan for this.
おばさんが私たちをここまで導いてくれた。きっとおばさんは見張りの猫たちもやっつけてくれているはずよ。
俺も同感だ。ここにいて見つかるくらいなら一刻も早くあそこにたどり着いて鍵を取り返そう。 鍵さえ取り返せればもう誰もあの本を開くことはできない。
あそこにたどり着いて鍵を手に入れて、それであそこ袋小路よ。逃げ場ないのよ、分かってる？
それは分かってるけど。
鍵は切り札になる。ベルンカステルにだって鍵は重要なんだ。一か八かだ。鍵をカードに何かの交渉ができるかもしれない。
あのベルに交渉？あんた正気じゃないわ。
だがここに隠れてても絶対に見つかる。なら100億の中の一つの確率だとしても俺はそれにかけるぜ。鍵を手に入れ、それを切り札に奴となんとか立ち回るんだ。
奇跡の魔女を相手にあんたは奇跡を祈るわけ？
天文学的数字の中に1を広げる。それが後宮家の魔法ってやつだぜ。
Let's see if the statistics of game theory is to your advantage.
私、目がいいから教えてあげる。あの黄金の鍵を取り囲んでる魔法陣、わかる？あれは簡単だけどなかなか堅牢な結界よ。触れば壊せる簡単な結界だけれど、でもね、どんな大魔女でも人間風情でも解くのにかっきり1時間をかけるという口の悪い封印なのよ。式典の進行上まだ1時間前にはなってない。つまり私たちは1時間稼がなきゃ鍵に触れることさえできないのよ。
エヴァおばさんはきっと見張りの猫たちをやっつけた時魔法陣も壊してくれたに違いないわ。1時間はかからないはず。見る限りまだ魔法陣は健在ね。残念ながらエヴァがそうしてくれたとしてもそれは1時間以内の話みたいよ。
1時間なんてちょろいもんだぜ。少なくともそれだけ粘れば手に入るという明白なゴールがある。
そうね。
But how fast will the cat time?
いいじゃね、1時間の鬼ごっこ。私こわもてに追いかけ回されるのには慣れてるの。
あんたたち札付きのパー揃いね。
Oh, she's having a lot of fun right now, though.
ベルンとあの数の猫を相手に本気で鬼ごっこをさせてもらえると？
確率が 1% でもあるなら
俺たちが絶対にそれを掴み取ってやる。
The difference in enthusiasm between the siblings, who had everything to lose, and Lambda Delta was immense. However, Lambda Delta was no coward. She was a great witch of the Senate. If she surrendered, she wouldn't be able to escape severe punishment, but she would be forgiven after a few hundred years. How would she, after being thrown into a stormy sea while clutching a buoy that could save only her, decide to throw that buoy away? No living person could be as determined as those siblings, who are already fighting for their lives. No one could blame Lambda.
ああ、もう本当にバカだわ、あんたたちは。
I sense epic fight scenes. Indeed. We are going to be getting some epic fight scenes, Burn Castle.
仕方ないわね。
Let's see how well you fare in that battle.
1% よりもうちょっと確率が高くなる作戦を教えてあげるわ。ズバリ何だと思う？
Sure. The two siblings looked at each other. However, they both thought that any plan would be worth listening to, even if it would only raise their chances by 0.00001%.
生贄よ。ベルンは猫だから逃げる獲物は追うけれど逃げない獲物は殺す。それもネチネチといたぶってね。
そういう くね。
しかしそれが本当ならかける価値はある。
Sorry about this.
生贄を一人
Alright, it's time to pull straws.
じゃんけんで選びましょう。負けた子はベルンをたっぷり挑発して笑わせて殺されて1分1秒でも時間を稼ぐ。それでいいわね。
じゃんけんはいらない。
Oh, Balor's just gonna do it.
俺がやる。
I had a feeling that he would.
エンジェとラムダが鍵の部屋へ行ってくれ。
ダメよお兄ちゃん、私がやるわ。
You need to use the key, Angie. Angie, you need to use the key in order to get to your future.
元はといえばこれは私の責任。
Have Balor do it. You need to get the key to unlock the future.
ベルンカステルの言葉に耳を貸し心を許し
Although I
た
think she'll be
私
caught
の
long
責
before
任な
she's
のよ。
able to do that.
だからあいつに一言くらい言ってやりたいのよ。
Both Balor and Angie decided to be the sacrifice and wouldn't listen to the other.
ね、じゃんけんじゃないと決まらないでしょ。さっさと決めないとこの作戦も使えなくなるわよ。もうじき連中がやってくるわ。
分かった。俺かエンジェが生贄をやる。ラムダデルタは残った方を連れて鍵を奪ったら黄金鏡に連れ帰ってやってくれ。
譲らないわよお兄ちゃん。
ふざけやがって。たまには兄らしいことをさせやがれ。
時間ないわよ。じゃんけん一発勝負。私超パーだからそれにちなんで最初はパーからね。いい？二人とも。
いいわ。
エンジェ恨みっこ。
せーの、最初はパー。
It really was a stupid kid's game of rock, paper, scissors. Since they had promised to start with paper, this was the chance to make a surprise attack and use something else. Hello, I'm here for the first. I'm here for the crying. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, something sad's about to start. Uh-oh. And welcome to the stream, Frau Deluxe. However, both Battler and Angie chose rock. And yet, it wasn't a tie. Lambda Delta chose scissors. Lambda Delta, you fucking asshole! Because in addition to those two rocks, was one person who chose scissors. Wait, I know this song. Maybe. Wait. Is this a song I recognize? After staring stupidly at their fists and those scissors, they looked at her. Lambda Delta, you're a fucking asshole, by the way.
あっちゃー。最初はパーだからチョキ出して一人勝ちしてやろうって思ったのに。やっぱりパーはパー出してなきゃダメね。
There had been no reason for Lambda Delta to join in on the game. This wasn't the time for a joke like that. Battler and Angie, each trying to lose, chose rock. Lambda Delta alone chose scissors.
あんたわざとチョキを。
Yep, it's this fucking song. Of course they chose this song for this scene.
お前に死なれたら俺たちは黄金鏡に帰れないだろうが。こんなの無効だ。
ほら、これで大丈夫でしょ。
When Lambda Delta made a clenched fist, a palely glowing fragment appeared there, and she gave it to the pair of them. Battler had seen one of these before. It was a magic fragment, like the one Erika had used before disappearing, which will allow one to cross the sea of fragments.
それがあれば二人とも黄金鏡に帰れるわ。それにこれが一番の人選なのよ。あんたたちじゃベルン相手に数秒と持たないだろうし、私なら 1時間どころかひょっとしたら勝っちゃうかもね。あの子には借りがあるし、今度は私の勝ちってことにしてイーブンにしないと。アウェイは辛いわね。
Lambda Delta pretended to complain as she stood up straight.
じゃあ行ってくるわ。私目立ちたがり屋だから、やっぱ感激者は無理だったわ。ごめんね、出番を奪っちゃって。あんたたちのゲーム最後まで感激できないのは残念だけど、もう筋書きは教えてもらえたから見る必要もないわ。
You decide to peer over Rikishi's Arenana's shoulder?
ラムだ。
Then, with her broadest smile and wink.
あんたたちのハッピーエンド。もう先が読めちゃったから見なくても分かっちゃうわ。じゃあね、また会いましょうね。
Well, she used the Witch Certainty.
あんたたちのハッピーエンドのクレジットロールでね。
So I'm expecting to see her in the credits.
待って。
I guess Lambda beats... I guess Lambda being the goats beats the cat. Yep. Lambda Delta is goated. Lambda Delta snapped her fingers, and the two of them turned into Conpeto candies. She picked them up, took aim at the glint of the golden key, and flicked them away. That way, they should be able to reach the key without Burncastle noticing. Dang. What terrible luck. What were the odds of them both playing rock against my scissors? Yeah, I know. It wasn't nice of me to test you like that. Sorry, you two. And then, Lambda Delta's body was lit up by an emerald green light. When she turned around, the cat's eyes and Lambda Delta's met. Oh? Lambda Delta grinned and waved. There was a fierce roar and several bright flashes. Oh, are we gonna see the fight? I like the little point in the middle of that. A chain of explosions flashed by one after another, enveloping Burncastle and her pack of familiars in an instant. Won't say no to free candies. There were multicolored fireworks. Or rather, multicolored candy that burst with a flash and scattered everywhere. Countless thick candies, sugar sculptures, cookies, and tarts flew in every direction. And each one of those split and exploded into hundreds of candies. Each of which exploded into a cloud of Competo. Ooh, more Competo around so that she would not figure out which one's Angie and Bowser. God! Oh my god! I was not expecting a CG of the candy. However, these sweets weren't streets. The Competo was heavier than lead, harder than steel, and sharper than any blade. As the colorful cloud exploded outward, it blasted the entire pack of cats into little bits. Oh, poor kitties. The emerald green blitz was scattered everywhere and sparkled like the night sky. And among them danced a cloud of pretty candies that looked like they'd go well on a Christmas tree. I have an idea now for Christmas. It was sufficiently outrageous and beautiful and cute to mark the Great Witch Lady Lambda Delta's appearance on the scene. That's an awful.
あら、ラムダじゃない。あなたとはパーティー会場で会いたかった。
Well, it's time to start the party early.
愛してるわ、ベル。愛をささやくなら二人きりの方が素敵でしょ。
Alright.
それはあんたの両手両足をもいだ後にゆっくりと聞かせてちょうだい。
With a jerk of her chin, Vern ordered her familiars to attack.
私の愛しい愛しいたった一人の友人よ。 両腕の肘から先、両足の膝より先。
Damn.
自由に食いちぎって構わないわ。それ以外には傷一つ許さないわよ。
I think that kind of looks like a Venus flytrap. Huh. I mean, I don't think the teeth are like that, and I don't think they have a tongue. The crowd of cats undulated again, reformed into a single mass, and became the emerald green leviathan that would swallow up any poor victims who snuck into the city of books. It was shaped like an impossibly vast whale. However, would it look like a whale from Landa's perspective? She probably could see anything except an immense mouth about to swallow up everything.
素敵。私をベルンの愛で飲み込んでくれるのね。
愛してるわ、ラム。あんたの手足をもいだら、お尻から鉄串で貫いて、私のベッドに飾ってあげる。
Can I stream that? Can I stream the rest of the scene? Or do I need to stop stream right here before things get a little bit too weird?
そして毎朝目覚めのキスを、そして毎夜お休みのキスをしてあげるわ。
Okay. I'm a little bit worried now as streamer that she's gonna go into details about something else. I'm hoping she doesn't.
本当に素敵。じゃあ私もあなたを愛で包んであげる。
Be careful, guys. I appreciate you guys expressing your love, but I also want to stay monetized. However, Family Delta's war cry was followed up by the glowing, writhing Leviathan in a single bite. Everyone else has streamed this. Okay, okay. I was mostly joking on that one, but I wasn't for sure. I was not sure. YouTube can handle that love, no issues. Okay. I would assume so, because there's several other Let's Plays of Umineko on stream, but there's always the occasion that they might have something that YouTube doesn't like. There's always the occasion. I have not played this before, so I would not know. Although I probably would have seen it in a stream tracker, or someone would have given me a heads up ahead of time not to stream a certain part of the game.
あんたのその向こう水で命知らずでほんのりパーなところが大好きだわ。
Without love, YouTube can't see this. At the same instant that Lambda Delta was swallowed, and Burn Castle was sure of her victory, the latter felt a slight breeze playing with her hair. The countless sweets that Lambda Delta had sent flying like fireworks, and which drifted about like decorations at a Christmas party, were flowing. They were converging on a single point. It was like watching a firework born backwards. Countless sweets rapidly contracted around the vast, closed mouth of the Leviathan. A gigantic reverse explosion concentrated on a point inside it. Or perhaps it was more like countless candies showering the Leviathan from all directions like bullets. Inside that massive green was a black squirrel. That squirrel was on a palm. On the palm of Lambda Delta, who wore a defiant smile. Oh, damn! Okay. So she's like holding like an orb. An orb of... Is that a black hole? Like, is she holding a black hole? It was a massive supergravity. All of the sweets, the cats, the whale, and everything else was being sucked into that one point and crunched. Oh my gosh, she made a black hole. Interesting.
抱きしめてあげるから。いらっしゃい、ベルン。私を吸い込む気。
All the candies Lambda Delta had scattered were being sucked back into the black hole on her palm at unbelievable speeds. The reverse explosion of the oncom canopy whittled at the Leviathan, crushing it inwards. Uh-oh. Is Burn Castle being sucked in by the black hole? Also, I know that sound effect in the background. The whirring sound effect in the background, I know that one. With all of her strength, Burn Castle held her ground in midair, trying to resist the supergravity. For the first time, all trace of condensation had left her face. Even Lim Delta's cocky expression was marred by the sweat trailing from her forehead. She's outputting a lot of energy. Because their power was so overwhelming, any victory would have to be instantaneous. If either relax in the slightest, they will match each other's strength and get dragged into another dizzyingly long fight that could last for centuries. Neither of them had any desire to go through that again. So, neither of them showed the slightest mercy for their most beloved friend. By now, the Leviathan had been completely crushed and compressed inside the black hole. Burn Castle was the only one still holding her wrath. However, a windstorm of candy asteroids like the asteroid belt repeatedly slammed into Burn Castle, wearing away at her girl's form bit by bit. The thing flying into Burn Castle's range of vision was an pump tilting straight for her, with a massive present box out of its core and a cloud of candy surrounding it. I think Lambda Delta is doing a little bit of overkill here. Yeah, I think this is overkill. Damn, Lambda Delta. This is a bit overkill, girl. Jesus. The candy comet wiped out Burn Castle along with her streak. It burst into a little bit, and within a blink of an eye, it was sucked back into a hole of supergravity. Once it was all gathered into one place like a gin, it began to spin rapidly. It was flattened by the centrifugal force, turning into something whose shape resembled the galaxy. After swallowing all the cats in their masses, now it looked like a wiggly, flickering emerald green galaxy that floated just above Lambda Delta's palm. The pocket of supergravity kept compressing it further and further, until, at the end, it had become a single green, shining pinto. #1 fight scenes that somehow need to be animated. How would you animate that? How in the hell would you animate this? I wonder how the fucking manga did this scene. How did the manga depict this? What the actual hell? Oh my god. How did the manga depict this? Then, it fell down onto her outstretched palm. And think about a live action version of this. Just think about that. I mean, with CGI, anything's possible. And without love, the animation cannot be seen. Lambda Delta held the Competo above her head and peered at it. Then, she pressed the Competo to her pink lips, gave it a slight kiss, bit down. Huh. And I think this might confirm that she knows the taste of burn. Lambda Delta linked her fingertips, then turned to face the empty air behind her. She knows her tricks. Are they about to fight for centuries again?
嘘よ。 あんたがいつだって私に本気じゃないって知ってたの？
じゃあ本当に愛し合いましょうよ。お互い本気で。
ああ、愛してるわラムダデルタ。嬉しいわ、本当に嬉しいわ。
愛してるわベルンカステル。あなたを飴玉に変えて永遠に私の舌の上で可愛がってあげる。
どちらが勝っても私たちは愛し合えるのね。それって本当に素敵だわ。それって本当に素敵。
They have some pretty twisted love.
さあ愛し合いましょうよ。
Honestly, I wonder why we don't have an Umineko anime. I feel like it would just be hard to animate. Like, every episode of Umineko would be its own season by how condensed the story is. Like, it's so packed with information that trying to rush the animation to having an episode in, like, 4 episodes, like having a whole game in 4 episodes, that would not do that episode justice with all the context needed to understand what's going on. And also, I believe there will be a lot of internal narration within an Umineko anime. Because I feel like without narration, it would not work. Like, the internal thoughts of the characters, I feel like that's the only way for an Umineko anime to work. If we get the internal thoughts of the characters. Because I feel like without the internal thoughts, a lot of context is lost. Especially with the depiction of the red and blue truths. Like, I wonder how that would be done in an animation. Probably a lot of text on the screen. Like probably a lot of text. But that love, that anime does exist. Yep. Just gotta put more love into Umineko. And the correct anime adaptation will be true. With a crash, cracked lines appeared across the sky of the golden land. Goddamn it, Goda. Then, finally, the barrier of the Golden Land was breached by the fleet's assault. It was a bizarre scene. More ridiculous than anything anyone had imagined. Imagine animating this. The sky of the Golden Land shattered like glass, and a fleet of sailboats flew in one after another. Animate this! Animate whatever the fuck is happening here. They were crowded with goats, pushing each other and spilling off the sides. Alright, Pirate Erika. Let's do this. You know what? I'm gonna put a little bit of my Space Cowboy, Space Cowboy scent. I was just playing with this. Alright. We gotta smell good for the fight. I mean, if the Infinity Castle was possible, I think we could have this. Infinity Castle. Are you talking about the Howl's Moving Castle? Infinity Castle. I think that's Howl's Moving Castle. I've not seen it actually. Oh, Demon Slayer. I've only watched the first episode. I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't get into it, but I might try the rest of the anime because I should not judge things by the first episode, but I couldn't get into the first episode actually. Ooh. Uh-oh. 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 I think Burncastle sent a familiar in here. Burncastle sent one of her familiars. How you doing? I can't believe Lady Burncastle sent a familiar to watch the stream. I had to place him down. He's not right now. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can get the camera. Wrong camera. Very wrong camera. Yeah, that was my webcam, not, So basically I'm using two cameras, the internal webcam on my laptop, as well as a detachable webcam. Are you laying down? Are you actually gonna watch me stream? Wow. It seems like one of Burncastle's familiars is watching me as I stream. Hold on, let me get the webcam view back on. Yeah, so if I move the webcam slightly downwards, yep, one of the familiars is just sitting here. He's looking away, but the familiar is here watching the stream. Oh, peeking out. Peeking out. And he's staring out the window. Yep. He's literally watching me stream. I'm not gonna show him looking out the window because I'm not filming outside of my window, but he is literally sitting by the window watching me stream. I think he's getting his vitamin B for the day. I'm gonna leave him to that as I finish up this chapter. Well, I don't know how long this chapter is. It might be a long one. I do need to go in like 30 minutes, so let's see how far I can get in this chapter. Thank you, thank you. He's only 4 years old, so he's pretty young. And I think he's smelling the scent I put on myself. Oops. Sorry, Tom. He does not like scents, by the way. A banquet. It wasn't some fancy metaphor, but a simple statement of fact. The overwhelming surge of Go troops came in like a tsunami. The residents of the Golden Land, who stood defiantly like a forgotten sandcastle on the beach. A fight between a wave and a sandcastle is not a fight. This was a banquet for the oncoming Vikings at a stand-up meal. The voracious, merciless goats. I like how Natsuki has a fucking gun. She just got her gun out. Hell yeah. All at once, fire.
さあヤギたち、形あるものに破壊を、動くものに静寂を、生けるものに絶望を。
All those could use magic fired it off at once. With a shout like a thunderclap, the goat tsunami rushed forward. Everything collided at once, and it was a brilliant and terrible explosion. Sparks and smokes, flying splinters and screams. Just for an instant, the fierce magical cannonballs fired by Beato, Virgilia, and the Chiesa Sister Corps seemed to halt the goat tsunami in its tracks. However, their numbers were so great that they didn't even flinch. The goat wave continued to walk over the corpses that had been blasted away, or which had fallen to their knees and wings. The mound of corpses piled up, and still more goats were shot down as they crowded across it. So that, in a few seconds, it was tall enough to be a tsunami.
哀れな。あなたが築き上げてきた黄金鏡など、浜辺に子供が残した砂の城に過ぎない。飲み込まれて消えてしまえ。
The voice actress had the time of her life while voicing Eureka here.
ならばそなたは岸壁に打ち寄せる無力なさざ波を思うがいい。
Are you holding a gun, Hideyoshi? I think he is. It's just being covered up by Beatrix Chase arm.
波に飲まれる砂の城。飲んでみろよ。わらわの城よ。
Oh shit. Beato lifted her hands, telling the pair of battle towers that had been hidden deep in the ground that day of glory had come again. The goat tsunami looked up at it in shock. After all, this time the tsunami that towered over everything was gone. Hell yeah. Oh my god! A thunderstorm of rapid... I forgot about that. A thunderstorm of rapid-fire ballista rounds leapt from the battle tower gun ports. The goats let out a confused scream at the furious tempest that was bearing down on them. However, they saw something else too. Smothered maze. What the fuck is smothered maze? Wait, what? In the sky high above the tower was a reaper astride with a divine horse and backdrop by the moon. Virgilia. Oh yeah, that's why Virgilia's there. A massive spear the size of the tower in its hand. The great witch sitting on the horse by the reaper spoke. I forgot Virgilia had that.
ここはあなたたちの世界ではありません。いっちまえ、お師匠様
！You go. You go, Virgilia. Show those ghosts what's up. The heavenly spear pierced the ground. For an instant, it looked like some divine towers sticking out of the ground. However, that was the very last thing those sides ever saw. The sacred spear was the embodiment of heaven's wrath, and the strength to bury an unclean city in a single stroke was unleashed upon the pack of hills. He's grooming. Oh my god, he is grooming. My god, he is grooming hard on himself. I'm literally watching my cat groom himself by the window. With a massive explosion that resembled a volcanic eruption, goats were sent flying all over the place.
やるわね。さすが魔女だわ。
So I wasn't there for when it happened, but you were Bayo tricked when Beato and Virgilia tried to make you sign the contract. Bayo tricked. Bayo tricked. That's a good one. That's actually a good one. Bayo tricked.
でもどうかな？
敵はまだまだ来るわ。やっぱり飲み込まれるのは私たちなのよ。
Can you do anything to fight?
西ちゃん、あんたたちは楽しそうだわ。
And he's enjoying himself.
祭りは楽しまねば損ということだ。どうやら我らの出番がなくなるということはなさそうだぞ。
みてえだな。燃えてきたぜ。
Yes, the crowd of goats truly was like a wave pressing in from the sea. You might be able to split a ripple on the beach with your feet, but you can't split the sea, which is clear. However, that meant the other side also had someone who could split seas. Suddenly, smoke poured from one of the two towers, and the ground shook as it crumbled. They hit the tower.
なんなんだ一体。あそこよ。もう一方の塔の上。
Oh, Erika's on the tower.
エリカ、そうだよな。今度はそなたの番であるよね。
At the top of the other battle tower, Erika stood gracefully, wielding her scythe.
これで黄金鏡の魔女たちへの敬意には十分でしょう。魔法などすべての
Oh
あやか
shit.
し。
Uh-oh. That's a problem.
ミステリーに飲み込まれて必ず消えるファンタジーの砂の城。楽しかったですよ、魔法ごっこ。なんだか幼かった頃、近所のお姉ちゃんたちとこんな遊びをした気がします。だからもうこれでおしまいにしましょう。ここからはあんたたちが絶叫を聞かせてくれる番です。
Erika threw that pretentious pirate hat that she had been wearing this whole time through the sky. With the moon behind it, Erika's form, after an image, vanished from the tower's peak.
どこに？
レーダー捕捉してます。あ、戦闘壁面。
Oh no. She's about to hit the second tower. Oh damn! They even have a spread of her doing it. Oh my god! Shaken with a wild, joyous laughter, Irga dashed straight down the tower. She swung her scythe like a baton, and as she passed along the tower's wall, its gunports, walls, pillars, everything else was crushed, leaving a trail of smoke. So, in the sidelines, it looked as though a line of smoke suddenly split the tower from top to bottom. The golden arrows of the Chiesto sister core chased after Eureka like golden threads in a sewing machine.
この化け物縫われて刺繍になるに
Is there a text box behind the text box? That's a text box behind the text box. Huh. I've noticed in this last chapter there's been a lot of graphical glitches. Even the golden arrows couldn't catch up with Eureka. Finally, Eureka reached the bottom of the battle tower, and empty cartridges were ejected from the golden bows. Oh my god. Eureka, who had now landed on the ground, slowly stood up and tapped the tower behind her with the handle of her scythe. That tiny tap cut the tunnel string that held the tower together. The whole thing fell on itself with an earth-shattering crash. Once again, the dark tsunami rumbled forward through the rubble and smoke.
我こそは真実の魔女フルドエリカなり今こそ真実にて黄金鏡を解体する土は土に幻は幻に終わらせてあげますよあんたたちのハクチュームさあさあ思い出してごらんなさい亡霊たち本当はもうとっくに死んでるんだってことを
Oh my god, he's literally falling asleep right behind me. He's literally falling asleep on the table behind me. My cat's falling asleep. The ghost tsunami swallowed everything up. When she saw them sink under the Black Sea of Goats, Eureka gawked from the top of the debris of the tower.
Sa, 殺せ殺せ皆殺しになさい全員の首を切り落として槍に突き刺して掲げなさい怒号と真実の渦に飲み込まれて消え去ってください1986年の亡霊たちさようなら
Umineko no naku頃に Naku no truth no returns. Alright, that was actually good timing, since I do need to head out pretty soon for today's stream. That next chapter is going to be very fun. It's going to be super fun, because we're going to get the continuation of the fights that's been going on. Woo! Okay, yeah, we're starting off pretty intense next time. Holy crap, I was not expecting that. Yeah, next chapter is going to be super intense. I think we're closing in on the end of Umineko. Holy crap. Holy crap, we're closing in on the end. Oop. I covered up my other webcam by accident. But yeah, we are running close to the end of Umineko. Eureka is laughing behind me. The truth could be revealed very soon. The truth could be very well exposed very soon by the fucker right behind me. But yeah, thank you all for watching today's stream, and yeah, I'm really excited for the end of Umineko. Just in time. I have a meeting in 5 minutes and I didn't want to miss it. Oh yeah, I should probably get going as well, since I do have some things to do later today. My studio is going to be showcasing our game at a festival this weekend, so I need to get everything ready for that. But yeah, thank you all for joining today's stream, and I will be announcing the next one very soon for Umineko no naku頃に Chiru.